Hi everyone, it's been a while. I say that every time I make a video, but it truly has been a while. It's probably been about a year and a half. We've had a lot going on and some changes in our lives and just too busy to really sit down and make any kind of videos. And you kind of got to want to do this sort of thing. So I'm going to restart, got all my equipment back out, and we're going to talk about some RVs and some traveling and some modifications we've made. And anyway, just a whole gamut of stuff, mostly about traveling with motorhomes and um, stuff in the motorhomes, and some changes we made to this one. And I say this one. The last time I talked to you guys, I was doing videos about we had a 19G Majestic we had bought from Cruise America, and that had been refurbished, and absolutely loved that little unit. We affectionately called it Shorty. I actually had a license plate made and put on the front that said Shorty. That was a lot of fun. We got a lot of cute comments about it. So we decided after a while that the 19-footer, my husband started traveling with me some in it, and it got small. You know what I mean? It wasn't big enough for two people to travel in all the time. It was great in great weather, and that's basically what they're made for. We would go in the summertime. Of course, we were outdoors a lot, but in the cold of the winter and on rainy days, or when it was extremely hot, we were kind of stuck in the 19G. And it basically only had a dinette, and the sleeping was over the cab. So we made the dinette down into a sofa kind of area, and it just wasn't comfortable to be in it long term. To sleep up on the bunk, we're getting a little bit of age. I mean, I'm in my late 60s and he's in his early 70s. Climbing up and down on that bunk at night, it gets to be a little bit tough. It really was. So we decided we went in to look for something a little more comfortable, and so we looked up on Marketplace, and I ran across one that I've been kind of talking to a lady for a couple of months, and we decided to finally go take a look at it. And when we walked up, it was a beautiful unit. It was a Coachman Miranda Select 37 TB was the model. It was immaculate. It was a 2017, only had 9,000 miles on it. They basically used it just to chase their grandkids playing travel ball. So there, it wasn't a lot of hard miles. I think they may have made one trip up the East Coast in it, the duration they had it. So we immediately decided we wanted to buy it, and we did, and we brought it home. Bringing it home was an issue because our driveway, it would not come up our driveway. The 19G would come up our driveway without dragging. This one was not going to fit in our driveway. And that wasn't the plan, was to keep it there long term. And I really didn't want to store it somewhere because I traveled in it. I'm in it 2 weeks out of the month working, and to drive to a storage room and unload groceries and clothes and whatever, and then drive back home, I knew I didn't want to do that. So we own the lot next door to our house. So we had a driveway put in, and then we had the cover for it installed, and it's right there at my door, so I can just walk out here and load it and unload it. It made it was worth every penny. Of course, learning to drive this thing after coming out of a 20-footer was a little bit of it was terrifying, actually. But we have a place in town. It has a very large parking lot. It was white concreted parking lot, and they had used some asphalt to patch a big hole. The black asphalt it looked like a place you could back into at a campground. It was about the right size. So I drove around and around, and I pulled through, and I backed in, using the cameras. And of course my husband would help me until I got proficient at backing it in both directions, blind side and the regular side. So I finally felt a little more comfortable actually doing that. Now, driving it on the interstate was, it's just a matter of just getting in it and doing it. You just got to want to do it. So I wanted to do it, so I've done it. And I've driven it from Louisiana to Tennessee to South Mississippi, all the way to the Gulf Coast. And I don't have any problems with it. You just got to learn to be careful. I don't like driving it in the wind. That's the only thing I don't like. But I'm in it now. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. We have made it kind of to suit our styles. We've done some work on it. It had a sofa sleeper sofa in it that was not comfortable. It didn't come up high enough to like rest your head on it. The little foot things that popped out came right underneath your calf, so that wasn't comfortable. So we bought a recliner entertainment system kind of thing. Very comfortable. I bought it from Camping World on sale. It came in, several pieces so you could get it in here. The problem was getting the other one out. And it really wasn't that hard once we got into it. Most of it unclipped and we could just take it out the door. Then we cleaned it up and put this one. It fit perfectly. And we strapped it down with the seat belts, and then he put some anchors on it. So it slid off. We didn't do that quite at first, and it slid off the slide at one point, just a little bit. So we knew we had to anchor it down a little bit better. But we love it, and I'll show it to you. And I'll actually do a video tour of our new unit. I say new, we've had it for about 1.5 years now. Done a lot of stuff to it. Things have happened. We've had some things happen. Somehow the cap on the sore throat spray bottle fell into the macerator toilet, jammed it up, and we learned after we pulled it up to fix it, we were gonna replace it with a foot flush toilet. But guess what? Underneath a macerator toilet there's no hole that goes into the black tank. It's actually piped out through the back, through the wall, and over, and then down into the black tank. So that wasn't a choice. So my husband pulled it up. We took it outside. We tore it apart. We found the problem, and we put it back together, and it works just fine. Those things are done, with an electrical push button. I knew at some point it was going to give us some problems, but that happened pretty quick. But we fixed it, and now we know how they work. We've changed out the mattress 2 different times because we didn't like what was in here, and then we put another one in, and that didn't work, and we put another one in, and that's going to be doable. He's also changed the plumbing. We have 2 wet bays in this unit, which meant you had to run a sewer hose from one and a sewer hose from another. When we connected them with a wire to put them in, actual sewer. Well, he plumbed it with a PVC. They came out from both both tanks. Both wet bays into one, and now we hook it to the center of that. Anyway, I'll show that to you later. We'll do that in a little bit. We also discovered it rides really rough. We thought the 19G rode rough. Well, this thing rode like a tank. They had put stabilizer bars on both the back and the front, which was supposed to help a lot. But what we discovered is when you hit a hole, the recovery, when you hit a hole, the recovery from that bounce up and down was just real traumatic. I felt like it was just going to tear this unit up. So we ordered some sumo springs because I had done some research, and he and I crawled underneath this thing and installed those. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't that hard either. We've also, we tow a car. We started towing a Mini Cooper when we had the 19G. Had the Blue Ox system installed. He put on the car, and then I learned how to pull the car and unhook it and rehook it. But it was an older Mini Cooper, and it was a rag top, and it's really hard for old people to get in and out of. And driving it like on I-10 in between 2 big trucks, that rag top and that little, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't feel safe in it, actually. It's my problem. So we decided to buy another one when we bought this unit, because it had a bigger towing capacity for one thing. So we ended up buying, I had a Kia Soul years ago, loved it. And I saw that you could actually tow a Kia Soul manual transmission, which they stopped making in 21. So I was on a mission to search and find a newer one, lower miles. They had the Apple CarPlay. I needed something a little more modern. I found one in Albuquerque, New Mexico through CarMax, and had it shipped to the Shreveport store. And we went and looked at it, bought it. He put a tow kit on it, and we tow that now. But with it being a little bit heavier, we had to add the braking system. Now that's a little intimidating, and we'll talk about that, and I'll show you what happened with that too. So another thing we've done, this unit does not have, because it's older, doesn't have a TPMS system, which is a tire pressure monitoring system. If you have you got something going on with any of these tires, you're clueless until something dramatic happens. Same thing on the tow car. Now the tow car itself has a TPMS system in it, but when you're hooked to this one, you're not in that one. If it has a flat while you're dragging it, you're going to drag that car a long way with a flat before you ever realize it. So there's a TPMS system you can put in. Wasn't that hard, wasn't that expensive, and it gives you just a little bit more comfort. I travel with my little dachshund dog. She doesn't like it when I leave her at home. She goes in the morning. She's pitiful. She just sits by the door. So I like to bring them with me, but in the summertime, you know, as you can guess, when you're not in this unit and it's, I mean, yes, you're in a park, you're plugged in, the air conditioners are running. At any point if the power goes out or the units go out, this thing gets to 95, 100, 110 degrees in the sun. It's dark on the outside, so it gets hot real fast. You don't want your dog in here. She will die. So I was a little hesitant to ever bring her and, you know, leave her to go do work and come back. Because my husband doesn't always travel with me. I go a lot by myself. So I want to bring her with me. And she's fine in here. She loves to come. But while I'm working, I'm constantly worried. And the Waggle system is not a Wi-Fi system. It's actually a cellular system. So I can get text, emails, and phone calls. And it is on a subscription sort of thing, but it's worth it for me. And she's happier and I'm happier. So I'll show you all how that works. We bought I call them squealers for underneath the cabinets in case something leaks. They kind of go off. We've had it happen one time, and there was a reason. There was water leaking underneath the kitchen sink, and we were actually traveling at the time, and it detected water. And we just had a small leak under the sink, and it caught it, which is, you know, water in motorhomes, campers, travel trailers is not good. We all know that. We've also put temperature monitors in each bay. So in the wintertime, we can kind of see if it's beginning freezing in the bays. So one bay has two filters in there. And the previous owner told us that he did not have any kind of heating system. He didn't run the system in the unit that's supposed to keep like underneath the floors warm. And they froze and they cracked. So that was, you know, we didn't want that to happen. So we put some temperature monitors in the bays, and he's also put heat tape under. He wired it so we can plug in heat tape, and he's got heat tape around all the plumbing in there in both bays. And then we ran it across and into some other areas like on top of the tanks and stuff. And we'll talk about that too. So if you want to hang around, and I'm going to make different videos about all of these things. Hit that bell so when I upload, you'll get a message. It's been a long time, and I'm excited about doing this, and I'm excited about being back on YouTube. Like I said, I just really hadn't had time. I've been working. I work for a third-party merchandising company, and right now I'm working in North Louisiana and Mississippi mostly. I'm going to do some work in Texas in January, this coming up January. So we'll be doing a lot of that. I'll do a little bit more maybe of the parks that we're in, and just, you know, get back out there. So thank you guys, and I hope to see you soon.